If your business isn't showing up on Google and the modern AI platforms, it basically doesn't exist. And today's guest has spent years fixing exactly that problem. Caleb Turner is the founder of SEO Rank Media, an agency that has generated over $40 million in results for their clients through search engine optimization. He helps businesses stop being invisible online and starts turning search traffic into real revenue. Today, we're getting into exactly how you can improve your visibility, what's actually working in SEO right now, what most businesses are getting wrong, and the moves that make the biggest difference fastest. Welcome to the Pump Boom Experience, Caleb. Great to have you.
Thanks, Miko. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, looking forward to have both an educational and inspirational session for our listeners. Well, let me start with something more basic. Could you summarize who you are and what you're doing in about 2 minutes?
Sure. So my name is Caleb Turner, as you said. I'm originally from the Washington, D.C. area. And in a nutshell, as you mentioned, I help businesses be found online, by their ICP, by their customers, by their potential clients, so that they can grow their businesses. And the way that looks is through, obviously, everyone knows Google, right? Standard search engine optimization. But additional to that, recently, within the last, let's say 3 years, has been what's known as answer engine optimization and generative engine optimization, which is to say helping people and their businesses be found on platforms like ChatGPT, Perplexity, different LLMs. And we also offer PPC services, right? My agency does, right? The name of my agency is SEO Rank Media. We're Los Angeles based, and we help clients all over the country. So that's essentially where I'm coming from.
Awesome. Thanks for the summary. Well, let me challenge you with the next question. Most business owners I talk to have tried SEO and felt like it didn't work. You also mentioned you went beyond SEO, but what are they usually getting wrong? All these businesses.
Yeah. So when people say SEO didn't work, often what I hear is that they may not understand the channel. And what I mean by that is SEO by definition is supposed to be organic, right? So search engine optimization, and you're trying to grow your organic traffic, which is to say that you're playing the long game. It's not like ads, right? It's not like paid ads. When you do paid ads, you expect to essentially enter an option, right? And show up at the top of Google or whatever platform you're running ads for. You want to show up for your customers and clients almost immediately, right? And you want to get those clicks, and you're paying generally per click, and that's how you get the clients. SEO is different. With SEO, like I said, it's the long-term game. You want to build your website's reputation. You want to build your business's reputation. You want to build just your visibility overall, right? Organically, again. So it takes time. It's incremental, and it's not something that happens overnight. And also, some businesses may not be in the position yet to necessarily invest in SEO. What do I mean by that? If it's a business that has no capital, no revenue, no money to invest into marketing at that moment, again, because SEO is long term, it might not make the most sense for them to invest into SEO until they actually have the budget for it. Now, there's some basic things that they should definitely do. Yes, they should get the technicals right on their website. Yes, they should make sure that their website is visually appealing, right? That it appeals to their ICP, basic things like that. But when I say investing in SEO, I'm referring to investing a substantial amount.
Right. Well, what I find interesting to ask you as well is, could you recall a story when somebody was like almost walking away? I mean, walking out of your office. They were pessimistic in a sense, and you still managed to convince them. Can you recall a story like that where they ended up really pleasantly surprised with the outcome?
Yeah. So what I would say to that is, first of all, I don't necessarily try to convince people or businesses that they should do SEO if they're not ready. Right. So that's the first step. If I feel like I don't think this is going to work, or I don't think this is the best approach for you, generally, I'll just let them know I don't think this is the best approach for you for these reasons. But with that being said, I've definitely had clients that initially were like, hey, the SEO is not working. It's month 2, it's month 3. We're not at the top of Google. What's going on? Things like that. Because like I said, a lot of times I find that people need to be educated on the channel, on what it is, on what they should expect.
Mm.
And so with those types of clients, when I explain to them in detail what's going on, what it is that we need to look for, again, right now, it would be not only organic rankings, quote unquote, which traditionally have been very important and still matter to a certain degree, but ranking for particular keywords, which most people are concerned with, that doesn't necessarily mean that your bottom line is going to be positively affected. Why am I saying that? It's because people now are searching based on natural language. So they're searching long tail queries that are very specific into AI platforms. So I'll just give you an example, Miko. Instead of someone searching, you know, managed IT services, instead of someone searching on Google or in ChatGPT or in Perplexity or in Claude, managed IT services, they're going to search something that's specific to themselves. They may search who are the best managed IT professionals in Los Angeles for a dental agency that are HIPAA compliant, right? Something long like that, that's specific. And what we want is we want our clients to show up for their specific ICP. So I know that was a long-winded answer, but essentially that's how I'm looking at it.
Oh, sounds pretty reasonable for me actually. Actually, so what does business actually need to have in place before SEO and the other branches, in this business start moving the needle for them? I mean, SEO, GEO, and the answer-based approach.
What businesses should have in place, first of all, is a sound website. They should have a sound website that appeals to their ICP. They should have technicals in place. And when I say technicals, I'm referring to just basic things like site speed, basic things like, meta descriptions, title tags, things that make sense to their ICP. So they want the technicals in place first. After that's done, it's important that they build their off-page presence, right? Meaning have a LinkedIn, have a Facebook page, a business page, have an Instagram, have, these social media platforms built. And then you want to, over time, incrementally build your off page presence, right? Off of your website. What does that look like? That looks like press releases for anything that's pertinent to your business, any events or any changes in your business that you want to announce. You want to release press releases. You want to have guest posts and backlinks pointing out to your website from other websites, right? Because why? Google and the internet looks at those as endorsements for your website. So you want to build those up over time as well. You want to build content on your website to build what's known as EEAT, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, right? Also, expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness, right? So all of these things are things that you want to have in place. And again, you want to understand that it's the long-term game that you're playing. Because one thing I've noticed is that when people say, hey, I want to invest in SEO, let's say they're just starting out and they have a very limited budget. In some cases, let's say they only are able to invest, I don't know, $500 a month or $1,000 a month. They're looking at the situation like, hey, I'm investing $1,000 a month in SEO. Why am I not above my competitors? Why am I not getting more traffic than my competitors? Why am I not getting more visibility than my competitors? They're not looking at necessarily what are my competitors investing. Because if I'm investing $1,000 a month in SEO and my competitors are investing $5,000 a month in SEO, and they also are investing in social, which also bleeds into SEO, and they're also investing in paid ads, which affects SEO as well, who is going to outperform who? You see what I mean? So it's not only what you're doing, you also have to look at your competitors and the total addressable market.
Yeah, exactly. Well, it seems education comes first. Setting the right expectations can determine the success of the company. Well, I was going to also ask you, what's the biggest win you've seen a client have? A specific story, if you can recall that, the one that still sticks with you.
Yeah. So if you go on SEO Rank Media's case study page, you'll see some examples. You'll see some different clients, even their reviews, right? Even the specific individuals, leaving reviews for our business. So there are plenty. One I can just mention off the top of my head would be a brand called Herb Social. And there are others, some we have NDAs with that I can't mention, but with Herb Social specifically, in about a year, their traffic went from virtually nothing to several thousand visitors in a year, right? So that's an example off the top of my head.
At the same period during these 12 months, did they utilize other strategies, I mean, like PPC or something else, or they mainly focused on the SEO?
Mainly SEO, and it includes, when I say SEO, I'm including content generation. So
Right.
Content generation on their website, content generation off of their website, and just SEO.
Right. Well, feel free to elaborate a bit on how important the content is, especially on the website, and an advice on how it should be structured. Maybe this is a good
Yeah, that's very
point.
important. Yeah, that's very important. So as far as content is concerned, the content should be generated not haphazardly, but one should do their research beforehand. What I mean by that is you want to look at the TAM, the total addressable market. You want to see what's working best across your vertical. And you want to kind of analyze, as far as your ICP is concerned, which keywords or overarching topics are most important for this ideal customer profile. That's what ICP is the abbreviation of. So you want to see, what are people actually searching? Which keywords and phrases and queries are actually bringing people to websites and, them becoming paying customers and clients. So with that being said, our process is we take these overarching topics, these overarching keywords. let's say it's a dental business, for example, a dental practice in Los Angeles. We'll take some of the keywords that people are likely to search, like a dental practice in Los Angeles, or best dentist near me, or, best all on for dental providers, etc. We'll take all of these keywords and then we run what's called a query fan out on those. And essentially what a query fan out is each individual keyword is expanded into multiple related subqueries that are synthetic that people are likely to search when they're searching in AI platforms. And it's based on the patents from Google's AI mode and the way Google's AI mode works, and other AI engines as well, where again, they take the prompt or the phrase that you type in and they expand it into multiple related queries. And then they search for the documents and the content that's, most relevant to the user intent behind the query that the user originally searched, right? And then they combine those documents and summarize them into the answer that they generate for the user. So we go through that process in a nutshell. We take those overarching topics, we run the query fan out, we determine what are the prompts, what are the queries that people are most likely to search. And then we take all of those prompts and queries and we generate content based around those. We answer those different questions in sequential order, in a format that makes sense. And again, we want to build our website, EEAT, expertise, experience, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness around those topics, and get some rankings, get some organic visibility. And at the end of the day, get retrieved, get cited, and have referrals, that come to our website directly from these platforms.
Nice, yeah. Thanks for elaborating. Caleb, how can people connect with you if somebody wants to actually continue this conversation, but in private?
Absolutely. So they can go to our website, first of all, SEOrankmedia.com. I also have a LinkedIn. Caleb C. Turner is my LinkedIn. We also have a business page, LinkedIn, SEO Rank Media on LinkedIn. We're also on Facebook. We're also on, I have an Instagram. We are also on even Reddit, right? I'm also on Upwork. If you go on Upwork and type me up, Caleb Turner, you'll find my profile, 100% job success, 5 stars across the board. On Google, you'll see our Google business profile, the same thing. So we're pretty much on all platforms, and, people are welcome to reach out. I also have a YouTube channel, obviously, right? So they can reach out to me on my YouTube channel as well.
What's the name of the YouTube channel?
So the YouTube channel is Grow Your Biz with Caleb. Grow Your Biz, B-I-Z, with Caleb.
Good. You mentioned Los Angeles a few times. Is your location there?
Yep, we're based in LA, but most of our team works remotely. But yeah, right. We're an LA-based agency.
Yeah, I guess you have some competitive advantage for the local businesses based in LA.
Exactly. Yep, well known in the area.
Yeah. Well, if someone is based in LA, connect with Caleb. And if you're in New York or in Florida, you can still connect with Caleb. Well, enjoyed chatting with you, Caleb. Looking forward to continue our conversations. Going to promote this a proper way. Looking forward to see what the next chapter will offer us.
Absolutely, Miko. I appreciate your time. Appreciate you for having me.